Okay, here we are again. This is now lesson number 97, and a bit more to tell you or give you information about the other houses that you haven't really considered yet. But if I can, there are 12 houses, and instead of learning 12, it's a good idea to think of them as pairs of opposites. So the first and the seventh go together, right? I was going to draw a diagram, but I won't. So the first is the self, the seventh is other people, opposite. The second house is earned income, among other things. The eighth house is unearned income. The third house is short distance travel, and the ninth house is long distance travel. I mean, there's more to it. This is communication and brothers and sisters and early education and so on, and friends and neighbours rather, not friends. And the ninth house is philosophy and travel and higher education. But if you think of it as lower education, higher education. So if somebody wants to know about how they communicate, you would look to the third house. If they're thinking about going back to college or going to university or something like that, you would look to the card that's here to get an idea of how it's going to go, or are they suited for it. So here we've got I'm turning this upright. We've got the 10 of coins upright. So is it a good idea to get a higher degree? Yes, because you'll make money out of it. You'll be better educated. You'll be better qualified. You'll get paid more. And also, just looking at it, we've got different generations. So it's a good continuation maybe of what the family has been going through. Because a lot of people who go to university, they're the first child in their family to go or to get a college degree. And so this can be the kind of situation that's shown by the 10 of coins here. Whereas if somebody wants to know, should I go to university, and you get the 10 of coins reversed, then don't bother. It's going to cost you much more than you think, or you're going to end up with a huge amount of debt, and you're going to maybe struggle to pay it off. And the other thing is, with a lot of university courses, there's a fellow called Paul Arden he was involved in advertising, and he wrote a book, I can't remember the name of it. One was called, It's Not How Good You Are, It's How Good You Want to Be. And so one of his points was, instead of going to getting a degree and paying a lot of money for it, if you want to do marketing and advertising and so on, rather than spend a ton of money, get a job in an advertising agency and work. And so 3 years work in an actual agency is going to be worth an awful lot more than 3 years of study at university, because then it's kind of theoretical. So with the 10 of coins reversed here in the ninth house, then don't bother going to university. You're better off to take courses online or do free instruction or take some kind of online class, rather than spend, $80,000, £40,000, whatever it happens to be, getting a degree that once upon a time in the past would have set you apart from other people. But nowadays, everybody and their grandmother's got a degree, so a degree is not worth what it used to be. And maybe that's represented by the 10 of coins reversed as well. So this is lower education, this is higher education, this is short distance travel, long distance travel. And then this is the father, that's 4, so this is the mother, right? 2 people. And one of the things, this is the horizon coming across here. And what's above the horizon, the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, it's visible. You can see, and everybody can see what's here, what's shown. People know who you marry. People know about your death. People know about your foreign trips. People know your mother. People know who your mother is. People know who your friends are. People know your karma. But they don't know what's below the horizon. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth is invisible. So you don't know people's values in the same way. The thing is, you know who your mother is. You don't always know who your father is. Mostly you do, but it's just a point that you know who the mother is because she was there when she gave birth to you. But we don't always know who the father was. So anyway, that's above and below. And so the 11th house, well, I'll leave, maybe in the last of this series, I'll do the 11th and 12th. So at this point, we're looking at, but if I can go back to this, the 5th is children and the 11th is friends. And the 11th also represents your hopes and aspirations. Maybe I'll just continue. So somebody wants to know, am I going to get what I want or be successful? Or if you want to know you're going to be successful, you look to the 10th house, which shows your reputation. It shows career and business, but it also gives you an idea about what the person wants to achieve in life or what they want to become in life. And so, am I going to be successful? With the 9 of Pentacles here, yes. Partly because it's upright, so it means basically yes. Or things are going to conspire to make it possible. So with the 9 of Pentacles here, you'll make it, and you make a lot of money because this person's standing in a nice garden with a falcon on their, left arm. And, this is like, it's not just everybody and anybody who can have a trained bird of prey on their shoulder, on their wrist rather. So it's a kind of specialized activity that's reserved for the wealthy. And so different indications of wealth and public success anyway. You may be deeply unhappy within, but at least the world looks at you and thinks, yes, you've made it, you're a big shot, you're an influential individual. So with the 9 of Coins here, will I make it? Yes, you will. Okay. And then the 11th represents your hopes and aspirations. So somebody comes to you and they say, I don't really know what I want to do with myself. What's a good idea? What would you advise, or what would the tarot advise that I do? So 3 cards to look here. First, you look at the self to get an idea of what kind of person you're dealing with. And here we get the 6 of Swords rather. So you're in a period of transition. You're moving from one situation here, right, on this side, to another situation over there. So it's a card of transition and change. And ideally, a movement away from a difficult situation into a better one. And then we want to know what your value sense is. With the 5 of Batons upright, I'm just turning it that way because it's easier to talk about. With the 5 of Batons upright, you're leaving a certain situation behind. What do you care about? Lots of different things. We've got 5 people, 5 Batons, and they're all in competition with each other. So you've got an awful lot that you care about, but there isn't one clear or 2 clear paths to travel. Here you've got multiple projects, multiple ideas, all at odds with each other. Maybe not at odds. Maybe if the 5 of Batons is upside down, you've got multiple possibilities and they're fighting against each other. So it's important to figure out what you actually want to do and work with 2 or 3 maybe, or 2 projects or 2 courses of action. If it's the 5 is upside down, but if it's upright, then you've got multiple abilities, multiple talents. Because some people I seem to remember in school, in high school, the people who were good in one class were good in every class. And it seems to be true that the best students are the best everywhere, and they're on the sports teams, and they're cheerleaders, and they're well known in the school. So maybe with the 5 of Batons upright, you're multi-talented, or you've got many different things that you could do. So what should you do? The 11th house is your hopes and aspirations. What do you care about? And so I'm turning again this one here. I'm turning it so it's upright. What do you care about? Mastership. This shows the expert. And these are the people here figuring out what instructions to give the person who can actually handle the details. So you're leaving a situation behind. You can do multiple different things. What should you do? Focus and become an expert. So whatever of these 5 different possibilities or more that you can do, choose 1 or 2 that look best or that you're most comfortable with. Because there's a photographer, her name is Sue Bryce, and I watched a video of hers years ago, and I like to refer to the video from time to time because Sue was a photographer in New Zealand, and she did very well. She had a business partner who organised the appointments and so on and collected the fees. And Sue took the photographs, and she was doing really well. She decided she would move to Australia. She moved to Australia and failed. But then she got a business partner and succeeded because she's really good at taking photographs, but she's not very good at the paperwork and the business side of it. So anyway, she was doing really well in Australia. She moved to Los Angeles and failed. And she realised she needs a business manager. She got a business manager. Then she began to do well. And her point throughout all the video was, if you go to school and you're good at 2 things and not very good at 3 things, people will tell you you've got to work extra hard to get the 3 things up to scratch, to become good at them as well. And she said, no. If you're really good at something, do it and hire people to do the things you're not very good at. And so with this 3 of Pentacles here in the House of Hopes and Aspirations, or in the 11th house, then pick 2 things that you enjoy, that you're good at, that come easily to you, and become really expert in those areas, rather than think you've got to become, if you hate numbers, then don't learn how to do bookkeeping, hire a bookkeeper. So here with the 3 of Pentacles, because the person standing on the bench and raised above the others and therefore in its own way higher than them or in a better position than these 2, and because we're looking at somebody who wants to get ahead, let's say, you need to become an expert or develop mastery in a particular area. So choose the one that you enjoy, that comes most easily to you, and do something spectacular with it, and let other people hire you to do excellent work for them. And that's one way of answering somebody's question if they're not sure about what they ought to be doing with their life. This 1st, 2nd, and 11th. And then the last one, just for the moment, is the 12th house, which is the house of karma. And self-undoing is what it's often referred to as well. It shows the kinds of mistakes that you make, even though you ought to know better. And even though you do know better, you sort of make them anyway. You can look on it as karma, as being some lesson or debt that you owe from some other lifetime, if you can believe in or accept other lifetimes. And here we've got the 5 of Swords. Your karma is to be defeated, maybe, and comfort yourself. Or maybe your karma is that you have to be cruel. Or if you, it depends what the question has been saying and what the questions are and what they're like. But it may be that with the 5 of Swords here, your karma is to do something harsh and cruel to somebody else, see how they suffer from it and how other people help them, and learn a lesson about the right way to treat people. Maybe that's it. What's the right way to treat people? Do you, the Beatles, love is the answer. John Lennon, love is the answer, and you know that for sure. So maybe that's the karma that goes with this 5 of Swords. And again, this is for you to practice on your own. So if you're interested in what the person's karma is, take the next card. What's your karma? It involves being an emperor. So your karma is to And because it's upright, we can say it's good karma. If it had been upside down, let's say, we might say it's bad karma. But with the Emperor upright, your karma is to create an empire, do something big, large scale, run an organization, be in a position of authority and a position of power over other people, and make life or death decisions for other people, because that's what an emperor does. And so rather than try to have a quiet life in the background and not really do much or be known for anything, that's not your karma. You're supposed to become known for something. So you might as well make it being known for something good, so you can be a criminal lawyer rather than a master criminal. Because that's the same kind of thing, the 12th house. But in one of them, you go to jail, the 12th. In the other, you go to jail to talk to you with your clients, but then you get to leave the jail at the end of the day. So you spend time in jail, but you're not stuck there. Whereas with the Emperor upside down, you're stuck there. You're paying the price. So that's it for the moment. So next time, I'll do something a little bit. Oh, we have to look at the 6th house. And I'll do a little bit more about combining houses or combining cards. And then I'll show you how to actually do a horoscope spread for other people. If you're feeling adventurous and you want to try something, it's not easy. And this is one of the reasons, if you're going to, I think you can begin to see the possibilities of a horoscope spread, how you can get an idea about different areas of life and what they're going to be like, and how you can combine different areas of life to get a more complete answer to somebody's question. So you can see the value of a horoscope spread, I think. And we'll look at the 6, but because practice this on your own for a while and to get used to it, and think about the kinds of questions that you would ask yourself as a reader, so you can figure out what the answer is for anybody's particular question. And I'll show you about how to what you're meant to do, because you're not meant to turn every card. You're meant to turn a few, depending on what the question asks, what the questioner asks or wants to know. But you can then lay another 12 cards on top of the first 12 and turn extra cards for more detailed information in that area. So if they want to know about marriage, you can get one card, then you lay another 12, you get a second card, you can get a third card as well. And that's going to give you more detailed information about the marriage partner and the possibilities that will happen if you get married or whatever it happens to be. So that was it. I'll see you in a few days. Bye-bye.